Hello, this is Patrick Findaro. I'm the Business Development Director with Visa Franchise. Thanks again, Brian and Elizabeth, for commencing the presentation today. So Brian already went through the investor visa, focus on the E-2 visa, which the majority of our clients apply for. I'll talk a little bit about Visa Franchise, the U.S. franchise opportunities, why we believe that investing in a franchise is the best opportunity for the majority of our nationals investing and moving to the U.S. And then criteria that we look at when evaluating businesses, and a little bit more about our process and how we work with our clients. So first, a little bit about Visa Franchise. We're based here in Miami, Florida, with offices across the U.S. and Latin America, and as well as Turkey. We have a portfolio of franchises that we feel comfortable with presenting to clients. We've already looked at about 1,200 different franchises. That includes reviewing the franchise disclosure document, franchise agreement. We've advised clients to date from 35 different countries. And we speak within our team Portuguese, Spanish, Turkish, and Cantonese. Our team has a lot of background in the financial markets. Myself, I worked at JP Morgan and worked at a small fund that did franchise investments. And then my brother and business partner, Jack Findaro, worked for the parent company of Burger King, which is Restaurant Brands International, which also owns Tim Hortons and Popeyes. So we have deep experience in finance and the franchise industry, and that bodes well for the only thing that we do: finding and analyzing franchises that qualify for investor visas. For the rest, we work with the top immigration attorneys like Getson, as well as accountants, corporate attorneys, etc., that also help with the process of investing in a franchise and then, of course, obtaining an investor visa. As I mentioned, our clients come from all over the world. Today, we've had 35 plus nationalities. Okay, so why we advocate on our clients investing in a franchise? You have all the support from the franchisor. It's an established business model that's already been proven in the United States. Existing business, there is some appeal because it's already operational and you have a higher customer base. But you have to ask, why would someone sell a business that's going well? Or if they are selling that business, what is the multiple on profit that they're going to be selling it at? Many prospective clients come to us and say, hey, I have this business. It could be an existing franchise for sale. It's a great deal. It's going to be sold at 1.5, 2 times profit. And if someone's selling a business for a relatively low valuation like that, there's usually something wrong with it. They might be manipulating some of the numbers, or there's something that you don't know, and you definitely need to hire a forensic accountant to do due diligence on that business. New businesses, we often see in Florida clients from or companies from Europe, Latin America establishing businesses here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and they're investing oftentimes millions of dollars to bring their concept from abroad to the U.S. and fail in adapting to the U.S. consumer, also supply chain, et cetera, here. And then in California, we see a lot of Asian companies coming over to the U.S. and oftentimes closing their U.S. operations. So it's definitely more entrepreneurial in that regard, potentially higher return, but you're entering the most competitive and largest market in the world. So in general, it's better when the business has grown here and it's been open for 5, 10, 15 plus years, and you're not the first one to open a business here in the US. So again, franchising, why we like it: you have all the training, choice of location, development, opening, relationships with suppliers, marketing, operational support. It's easy to expand. You can open up multiple units. It's an established business model with a recognized brand. The franchise industry has grown quite a lot over the past few years. There's over 5,000 brands for franchises and licenses in the United States, with nearly 800,000 units and that contribute 8.1 million U.S. jobs. Most people think about franchising as food related, but that is true half the time. But as we'll talk about later today, there are many other franchises that our clients invest in. These are the major markets that our clients are investing in moving to in the United States. These might not always be the best markets in terms of growth, but we put out some of the key statistics for California, Texas, and Florida in terms of growth. You can see low single-digit growth. Employment numbers are increasing all over. And then you can see some of these figures are increasing more for income and economic activity. So searching for a franchise, you have a few different options. A lot of our clients start first with an independent but feel quite overwhelmed. They might go on some franchise rating and become discouraged because, maybe out of the top 10, 5 of them do not allow foreign national ownership. You already have to have a green card or U.S. citizenship. Some of our clients speak to franchise brokers. They're just generally solely compensated by the franchisor, and they might have 400 franchises that they're selling to you, and they receive compensation solely from the franchisor if the transaction happens. And then you have us, where we have many, many more options. We can work with any franchisor. We'll analyze any franchisor. And as mentioned, we've looked at over 1,200 today. Number one thing that we look at when analyzing franchises is the profitability. We also want to see ongoing revenue, renewable revenue. So that could be a barber shop, a nail salon, that you retain the same clients that come every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks. High margin business also could, a nail salon or barber shop where the barber or technician keeps about 50%, and then the franchise would keep, say, about 50% as well. That's a quite high margin. Management team is very important. Who is the franchisor? Who is behind them? How are they going to be supporting you? Industry and brand and growth. There are many industries that are in decline, whether that be frozen yogurt, automotive-related franchises, gas stations. Those are industries that we would not recommend our clients investing in. Availability of territory. Many clients want to live in Southern California or South Florida, and oftentimes many franchises you don't have the availability in those territories. Someone's either bought the entire territory for that brand, or they've already started opening locations. And then accept foreign nationals. By our studies, about 30% of franchises do not allow foreign national ownership. You would have already had to receive the green card or be a U.S. citizen to own that franchise. Some options in the food space are quite attractive. Again, things that have renewable revenue or high margin. So gelato is more high margin, coffee be more renewable revenue and can be high margin as well. Pet care, beauty, cleaning, real estate, education, fitness, and health. So for many of these concepts, and we received a question about providing management support. If you're looking to invest 100, 150K, really anything less than 200,000 in the business, there's not enough margin for you to have a manager full time. Our clients that are investing in real estate property management, commercial cleaning, you need, even fitness most of the time, you need to work 40, 50 hours a week, at least for the first 12, 18 months to get the business started, and then perhaps promote someone internally or from outside that could act more in a day-to-day management capacity. But less from 200,000 is very difficult to have a business that has sufficient margin for the owner or the foreign national seeking an investor visa to not go in the business every day and serve as a full-time capacity. So although we do not provide management support, there are some franchisors that might provide ongoing management support of the franchise. Here are some examples. You can see anywhere from 100 to 500K plus. We have had approvals as low as 80, 90K. But generally, those interviews are quite difficult at the consulate, and it's a lot of extra work for everyone involved. Where if you tend to invest more money, say 200, 300K, the whole process isn't there. So here you have Visa franchise, Brian Getson, the franchisor, tax consultant, and potentially also a franchise attorney or corporate attorney that would support you as you go through the investment process to obtain the investor visa. And then here is really specifically for Visa franchise, and then Brian, and then he would work together with a corporate attorney or franchise attorney, where we would have initial consultation. We can send you some industry examples that best fit your profile. Then you would engage our services to conduct a personalized franchise and business search that takes place over a 3 to 4 week period to identify the best options that fit your needs. And then we present you with the best 4 or 5 franchises. And in parallel, the attorney or attorneys are supporting the legal documentation, visa petition, etc. And generally, it's a 3-month process, but it depends a lot on the client, how long it takes to make a decision on the franchise. As I mentioned, we present the best 4 or 5 franchises, business valuation, pros and cons analysis, overview, summary of the key financial information from the franchise disclosure document. This is a federally regulated document that includes the estimated initial startup costs, sometimes includes sales figures, profitability. There's a lot of very useful information, but if you don't know what you're looking when analyzing that document, it can be quite cumbersome, as oftentimes it's over 200 pages. And then we provide introductions to the franchisors and also coaching, and you definitely should talk to some franchisees. And we provide coaching on what questions to ask existing franchisees. Our clients have invested in all different types of concepts, like I mentioned, frozen desserts, barbershops, property management, and they've obtained all different types of visas. But a big major focus on the E-2 visa. One second while I play a video from one of our clients.
Hey, my name is Vanessa.
Hi, my name is Brenner, and this is our American story.
We are husband and wife, and we always worked at multinational companies in sales and marketing positions. And we decided to move to US because we see a real opportunity in real estate. We want to raise our family in a better place and provide the best education, and also because deep down we want to own our own business.
So about a year and a half ago, we started seeking some business opportunities in the US, and we started actually buying houses and testing the real estate market. And then it was the point that my wife and I, we started discussing to see what the best route would take. And then she mentioned that she wouldn't be too comfortable about opening a new business in a new market. That's when she decided to have a franchise, right?
Right, because I felt more comfortable in moving to another country with a franchise and not to start everything alone.
We start talking to an immigration attorney to check what the best route would be. He advised that the E-2 visa would be a great option. So we went to this workshop that talked about like E-2 visa investment in the US, and that was the time that we actually met Visa Franchise, and we started a conversation right then and there. after deciding on the E-2 visa that would be the route to take, we started the discussion with Visa Franchise, and they understood our profile and our business goals and objectives, and they selected a few franchises that we should talk to. It was a great experience moving to the US. The country is easy to do business with, the rules are clear, and there's much less bureaucracy than we were used to. Okay, I think the first is find the right partners that's gonna help you. We had a really good experience with Visa Franchise because not only they helped us with the franchise agreement and finding the right franchise, they put us in touch with great attorneys that have experience with franchise agreements and all those process, and also finding the right structure that's going to support you. I think that they're able to point you out on that direction.
I also think that it was so much important to come here sometimes before to see the region and the place where we were gonna live, and also the office. And now the adaptation is so much easier.
Thank you, Visa Franchise. Obrigado, Visa Franchise.
Okay. Well, thanks. That was a video from our clients that invested in a property management franchise in Florida and successfully obtained the E-2 visa. So for questions, I'll go through a few, then I'll turn it back over to Brian. And as mentioned, for daily issues, support, there are options available, but generally it would warrant a higher investment amount and a separate arrangement directly with the franchisor. One second. And then, yeah, a question that we frequently receive is what is the best franchise for me? And it really depends on your profile, and no two clients are the same. Over the past 10 or so clients, I'd say 8 invested in different franchise concepts, so there was minimal overlap. So we really need to do a thorough search and understand a lot more about your family goals, career background, where you want to live, to present the best opportunities. And it might vary depending on what state you're interested in moving to, and industry opportunities in California would vary a lot from Texas, Florida, or New York, or the Chicago area. So it really depends a lot on your profile and then also the location of the business. At this time, I'll turn it over to Brian, as there were some questions that were more visa related, and Elizabeth can help walk through the questions for you, Brian.
Sure, thank you, Patrick. So the questions that were asked, there were 2 questions. Considering I will not live in the U.S., just have a franchise there and travel from time to time to administer the franchise, is it possible to have someone be responsible for the daily issues of my franchise, your enterprise, do this job? So the answer to that question is no. You know, the purpose of an E-2 visa is for you to come to the U.S. to develop and direct the business. So if you're, not living in the U.S. and working in the business and just there from time to time, then you would not be developing and directing the business. The second question is, I'm originally from Argentina, which is a treaty country, and I'm planning to run my business with an individual from Brazil, not a family member and currently living in Brazil. Can I hire and sponsor an individual from Brazil and grant a visa to him and his family to come and work for my business in the U.S.? So the answer to that question is no. You know, you can only hire employees that are the same national as the investor. So if you're from Argentina, you can only hire Argentinian employees. So, you know, this is only about E2, not EB5. That's another question. And, you know, EB5 would be a whole different topic. Certainly, as I indicated earlier, an E2 can lead to an EB5. What are the options for non-treaty country people? You know, that's really on a case-by-case basis. It gets beyond an E2 visa. It's possibly an L1 visa, which is, you know, you have a company in your home country, and then you would start that company, you would start a branch or a subsidiary of that company in the United States, and then you could transfer as an executive or manager or a specialized knowledge worker. That's the most common option done by people looking to start businesses in non-treaty countries. There's also green card routes known as extraordinary ability alien and national interest waiver, and those are different topics. So, you know, that's the answer to the question. You know, I just wanted to conclude by, you know, talking about what are some red flags for consular officers in e-visa cases. And I just want to go over a list of them just to keep in mind as you're doing this. Number one is overly complicated company structures. So again, if you're purchasing a franchise, you're going to have a simple, you know, business corporation that's going to own the franchise. Number two is obscure money trails and cute financial arrangements. So, you know, again, you want to show the consular officer where the money came from that you're using to invest in the franchise. Number three, investments amount are too small. And, you know, Patrick really, you know, talked about that very well. The higher the amount of the investment, the less complicated it is, you know, to show everything that we've talked about. And, you know, the higher the investment, the higher the likelihood you're going to get the E-2 visa. Number four is no job creation. Again, you know, you want to be looking to create jobs and grow your franchise. Number five is no storefront. So, you know, again, if you're in a, even if you're in a real estate business, it's helpful to have some type of lease, business property, etc. And obviously you're going to have that if you're, you know, you're in a store situation with a franchise. Next is if you're doing an e-visa renewal and there have been no changes to your initial business plan. Number seven is, again, if you're changing your status in the United States, you know, consular officers generally feel that they are the best ones to decide an e-visa. So if you've had the Immigration Service in the United States approve your e-status, and, you know, you're still going to have to go back to the consular officer if you need a visa and make the entirely new case. So it's better to just do it at the embassy from the beginning. And number eight is if you have had, you know, an extended prior stay in the U.S. and they feel like you're just looking to stay further in the U.S. and you're not really looking to have a business. For example, you were in the U.S. in H-1B status for 6 years, and now you're, you know, they might say you're just looking to stay here. Or you were a student for a long time. This certainly does not preclude you being an E-2 investor in those circumstances, but it's just something that you're going to have to show the legitimacy of the business. So there's one more question where one of the associates is from a treaty country, the other individual is not. Only the treaty country person will be available to receive the E-2 visa. Yes, that is correct. You have to be a member of a treaty country to apply for the E-2 visa. Okay, so thank you all, and I'm going to turn it back over to Patrick.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. If anybody has any other questions, you know, feel free to ask via email, info@visafranchise.com. What we'll do now is we'll put this recording on our YouTube channel and send it to everybody who has attended this webinar as well as the presentations. So if you have any more questions and would like to schedule a consultation call, please let us know at info@visafranchise.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and thank you, very special thanks to Brian for taking the time to be here today and for really sharing a lot of information regarding the E-2 visa and investor visa. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.